So we'll talk a little bit about marketing yourself. First thing, if I'm a final expense agent and I have any kind of book of business, I'm gonna call and see if my upline will help me pay for a mailer that lets them know, hey, I'm doing final expense now. I'm doing Medicare now. And the reason is because there's so much value in that, just getting it to your own book of business. That's step one. Can you guys help me pay for a mailer? So make the ask, because if you have a book of business, they know you. Get your face on a postcard, send it out to them, or get it even better. Do a handwritten letter, where you write. You can write in your own writing on the envelope, and then get that out to them, just a flyer. By the way, I'm doing Medicare now. That would go a really long way to help you kind of get a leg up. So
yeah, one thing that may come up, or one common question that we get is, I thought we're not allowed to call people in Medicare. Is that true? How does that work? If I'm a final expense agent and I have this book of business, I thought I couldn't do that. Right. How would you respond to that?
Yeah, you can absolutely call, because they're your own client. So the distinction here is, if they're not your client, maybe it was just a lead that never closed, then you can't call them. But if you are talking to somebody who is your own client, you can call and check in and say, by the way, guess what? Now I do Medicare Advantage. So spend some time dialing. And what you would do is, during those phone calls, so after that mailer goes out, I'm talking about anyone who didn't call you, I'm gonna be calling them up and doing that dialing. Even if you're running from appointment to appointment, start dialing those Medicare Advantage, or dialing your final expense clients. Tell them, hey, just want you to know I do Medicare Advantage now. I would love to come and just set up a review and go over and make sure that you're in the right plan for you. The majority of your final expense clients are probably on Medicare, right? Or on their way to Medicare.
Mm-hmm. And it helps, it's gonna lead to retention. We've had some agents who have joined us, again, doing final expense, and they transition to doing Medicare. And of course, they don't do as much final expense as they used to, but one of the big things that they saw, and really it wasn't something that we intended to happen, but it just happened. And the feedback we were getting was, hey, my retention for my final expense is much higher now, simply because now I'm actually enrolling them with Medicare Advantage, right? So it's like this, you've got multiple lines of business with these clients. You've got them for final expense and Medicare Advantage. They're less likely to cancel that final expense policy. That retention is gonna be higher, less chargebacks. And so it's just kind of it's a win all around for the agent, but also it gives you the opportunity to put your client, your member, in a better place.
Yeah, and especially when it comes to the final expense leads. Obviously, if you've done final expense for any amount of time, obviously you know that there's people who you call these leads, and then they'll sign up and then kind of go away. If you cross-sell your Medicare Advantage client, now you can't do that same day, got to come back. But if you cross-sell your Medicare Advantage client into final expense, that one, it's a different kind of lead. It's a different person. It's not a cold prospect that kind of makes a quick decision on emotion, and then you end up not getting, they end up going away immediately. It's a different client that you have when they come from final expense, and when they know that they actually need it, and you have these kind of conversations. So just overall, it kind of changes your clientele.